From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Robin Chan with today's voice briefing. It's Thursday, February 27th, 2025.
This is Neeraj Warikoo of the Detroit Free Press with some news about a mayoral run in a Detroit suburb. On Sunday, Nabi El-Mogdaghi announced that he's running to challenge Dearborn Mayor Abdul Hamid to lead the city of 110,000 people. He struck a patriotic theme, standing in front of images of 4 American flags with the song God Bless the USA by Lee Greenwood playing as he took the stage. Nabi El-Mogdaghi became noted in Dearborn for his opposition to some LGBTQ books in Dearborn public schools. He often spoke at protests and rallies and was joined by Republicans at his campaign announcement on Sunday. Tudor Dixon attended the event, as well as Hamtramck Mayor Amr Ghalib and 2 city councilmen in Dearborn. On January 30th, Nabi El-Mogdaghi filed a campaign committee report, Wayne County Records show. The primary is in August and the general election is in November. For more information on this story, visit freep.com.
I'm Susan Tompor, and I'm a columnist at the Detroit Free Press. We're nearly 1 month since the start of the 2025 tax season, and right now, more early filers apparently are waiting it out. The Internal Revenue Service received 4.9% fewer early income tax returns so far this year through February 14th. That's compared with a similar period last year. The agency processed 5% fewer returns this year during the first 3 weeks of the tax season. We're talking about millions of returns that typically might have been filed at this point, but haven't been yet. The official deadline for filing federal income tax returns is April 15th for most people. So plenty of people do have time. The average federal income tax refund was $2,169 during this first 3 weeks. That's down more than 30%. But the IRS is holding back some refunds because of the claiming of the Earned Income Tax Credit and the additional child tax credit, and many of those refunds were issued during the first 3 weeks of last year due to the calendar. So the IRS thinks some things will even out there. Why are so many people seeming to wait? One CPA in Indiana suggests that he wouldn't be surprised if some are hopeful that President Trump will eliminate the IRS. He's even run into a few clients who are frustrated by taxes and see Trump's tough talk as a reason to wait it out. But many tax experts advise that the IRS isn't going away, even though jobs have been cut. Experts say some tax cuts that were talked about by Trump on the campaign trail, such as no taxes on tips, are unlikely to be retroactive to 2024. So that's no reason to hold back filing your income tax return now. Better to plan to file from now through April 15th.
Hey there, everybody. This is Omari Sankofa II, Pistons beat writer for the Detroit Free Press. On this week's episode of our podcast, The Pistons Post, Bryce Simon and I were joined by Free Press columnist Sean Windsor to break down the Pistons' 7-game winning streak and the road ahead. Here's a quick snippet of our conversation.
Sean, we give Cade Cunningham his flowers a lot. What else has been a driving force? What has stood out to you that's driven this, these 10 games, this 8-2 stretch, 7 in a row?
I don't know what's more impressive. Sarah Thompson. What did Cunningham say about him the other night, Omari? He said something like this. Then we got Sarah Thompson out there, and he is basically a defense unto himself. That's a huge part of this last 10 games, right? I mean, in his own way, he's just thrilling to watch as Cunningham. What he did against the Clippers, the blocks, the recoveries, obviously the things he started to do offensively, just chesting up Harden. Harden was like 5 for Harden wanted nothing to do with him, right? And rightly so, but the way he was chesting him up. So I look at that, and then I think about Jalen Duren. Never mind the fact that he's getting a little bit better defensively. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I like that or that fadeaway that I got texts about the other night. There's some talent right here. And maybe they just got that lucky. I've heard Bryce say and make a really, really good point on this show a couple of weeks ago. How often does the team really hit on their draft picks? Almost never. But when they do, then you get Golden State.
Yeah.
Right? Or you get Oklahoma City with Harden. I mean, a young Oklahoma City, right? You get the Spurs adding Ginobili and Parker to Duncan. I'm not saying that's what this is happening, but teams occasionally hit on their picks. And when I watched that fadeaway the other night, a baseline for Duren, and then the sequencing against the Clippers, we're like, what is he going to be?
You could hear that full conversation in this week's episode of The Pistons Post, which is available wherever you listen to podcasts. And as always, you can find our latest coverage on freep.com/sports.
Find more from the Detroit Free Press on freep.com. That's FREEP.com. Thank you for listening, and you'll hear more from us tomorrow.